You're listening to the BigIron Buzz.
Welcome to our latest episode of the BigIron Buzz, where each week we'll bring to you the latest news and trends in the ag, real estate, and used equipment markets. This podcast is brought to you by BigIron Auctions and BigIron Realty, Rural America's premier online unreserved auction site, bringing you real connections, respected values, and real deals. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Smith, and I'm the host of the BigIron Buzz. With me today is Mark Stock and Matthew Swartz from BigIron Auctions. Matthew, you're new to the show. Can you start off by telling us a little about yourself?
Certainly. I'm the Midwest Regional Manager for BigIron, and so I cover Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Michigan. And so cover a big chunk of the Midwest, and where farmers are making great progress.
Yeah, and how many reps do you have there now working within your space, your district managers and your sales team that are on the street?
Yeah, so we have 7 district managers and about 40 ISRs, independent sales reps covering those states, and we're growing every day. We seem to get more applicants and people interested in joining the great BigIron team.
I think one thing that's important for us to talk about here briefly, Matthew, is the importance of having representatives that are local to the communities. You want to elaborate on why you think that's important?
Well, I think it's critical when you go to work with someone that they trust, that you understand the way they farm and what they're trying to accomplish in the local community. And I think that reputation, understanding, and that the way the local person can work with them is just a touch better than what any other organization can provide. And those deep personal relationships mean a lot when it comes to trust and the accuracy of the listings that we're able to provide.
You know, I was just with a gentleman the other day, and he was talking about, and I was riding with a sales rep, and he said, yeah, we're going to go over a couple miles north to the Platts Hills. And I went to the Platts Hills, and then the rep says, oh, yeah, that's just the valley that is beyond the Platts Hills is a really nice valley. You got to know the terminology and the location and the space where you're at to get your buyers and your sellers comfortable with the process. And I think that's so important when you have a rep that's local. And you've got a lot of reps that are filling a lot of those voids, but how many reps are you actually looking for right now to fill in your spaces?
We're actually looking to add over the next year about another 20 reps across the 7 territories. So we're looking for additional people that have the time and dedication to go out and work with their local farmers and create an environment which is positive for farmers. You know, the outlet to be able to sell used equipment is really hot right now, and a lot of people are trying to jump in that space. And one thing that's unique about BigIron in the Midwest is we're able to provide just a higher level of service than any of the other people that are trying to get into the space.
What do you think would be 2 attributes of a salesperson, attributes that you think are important for them to have in order to have a successful career with BigIron?
Yeah, I think the first attribute is community knowledge. I think it's important to understand and know your local community in terms of who the people that are farming, who are the people of influence in the community. That way you're able to get out and get on farms versus being a stranger and you're a warm and welcome friend. The second attribute is really just some grit, being able to get up and go out and make some cold calls and meet new people and be excited about that. And knowing that there are times when people don't have any equipment or just aren't interested in selling anything at the moment. And I think that grit really helps them rebound and drive forward with some positivity that customers can respect.
Well, I know you've got some nice sales coming up in your area space now, Matthew, and you've got some folks talking about retirement. For those that are considering retiring in your area, what kind of approaches do you and your team take to accomplish the successful sale for somebody retiring?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's getting on the calendar. As it gets toward the end of the year, it's always important to get in early and get the dates booked. As harvest is winding down for many of those people, that ability for us to come out and make sure we have a great list of equipment and that it's cleaned up really well. And a lot of people are doing that. They're cleaning up their equipment and getting it put away. And so we want to make sure that we can represent the equipment as good as it can be and accurately with what it is. And so the people that have signed up for the retirement sales, super pleased. The other day, we had retirement where a lady's husband had passed away, and our district manager went out of the way to take her on one last ride on her tractor and just do the little extra things like that to make them feel comfortable with the idea of retirement and the idea that we're doing absolutely everything possible to bring the best prices.
Yeah, when you talk about getting something on the calendar too, if they want to have a retirement sale here in December, it's time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crunch time. It's time to get a hold of us and be able to get it listed right away.
Matthew, there's a lot of really nice equipment for sale in your area next Wednesday. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, so Holderley Farms, which is just north of Lafayette, about 20 minutes or so, they have some of the nicest, cleanest equipment I've ever seen. They actually store their equipment on concrete barns, so it just almost never sees dirt. You could almost eat off the floor of the barn, and then the equipment is even better than that. And so they've got some nice 2013 type equipment, and there's a 8285R and there's a 9560. Both have 23 to 2800 hours. Fantastic and just amazing. Even already the 8285 has got 190 some people bidding on it, and the 9560's got over 117 bids on it already. Just incredible equipment. So I look for it to bring really good prices and also be a great buy for someone who's interested in people that really do a great job at taking care of equipment. Lee County Highway Department has a couple snow plows, a 2003 International 7400 plow truck in Amboy, Illinois. The unique thing is when these highway departments release these trucks, in this case, it has 118,000 miles on it, but they do a great job taking care of it. They have a lot of downtime in the off season, so they do a good job at taking care of their equipment. And it's tried and true and tested equipment that works well and will do a great job for somebody looking for that piece of equipment. William Brinkman has this scissor lift for sale, and I was actually at that listing when we listed it, and he had purchased this and he's gone through it. He's actually replaced the batteries. He's went through and painted it and painstakingly really done a good job with the restoration of this piece of equipment. So I look forward to get in early and get in often because this is really something somebody's going to want to keep. So I look forward to bring good money, but also fair money for what the work you won't have to do because he sandblasted and really did a good job painting this equipment. We also have Clifford Kessler in Brown City, Michigan. He's selling a J&M 620 grain cart. The great thing about this 620 bushel grain cart is it's been well kept. It's in good condition. Someone's going to really enjoy J&M, well known for making great quality grain carts. And I think someone's going to be really pleased with this pretty well kept equipment.
And Alicia Geiger, Matt, is your rep in that area. Tell us a little bit about Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia's new with us in Michigan. She's joined us in the last 4 months, and we have really worked hard with her to be able to get out there and meet customers. She has a lot of contacts in the community. She has done a wonderful job understanding equipment early and getting out there. And like I say, when she works with farmers, it's amazing her connection with farmers, how they are put at ease with her knowledge and her background. And, like a lot of people we hire, they come with a 4-H and FFA background and even a livestock background. And that makes a lot of difference with their ability to communicate, their ability to understand agriculture, and then obviously understand what the goals of people that are going to sell are with their equipment.
You bet. That's why we like entrepreneurs. We like the 4-H program students, the leadership students, and the FFA students because they do a wonderful job. And I see Alicia Geiger's also representing the truck that Jim Hunt is selling. And Jim Hunt is from Harbor Beach, Michigan. You want to tell us about that truck?
Yeah, that's a 1992 Ford CF700 cab over with the chassis, and I believe it only has 77,000 miles on it. So, 77,656 miles on it. It's a diesel, and I think people are really going to like this. So as you take a look at it, it's starting to get the bids. It's bringing up the bids every day. So the price is really going to go up. But, it's a good quality piece of machinery for somebody who's looking for something that's a little older, 1992. So I think they'll be pleased with their purchase.
Yeah, and what's exciting about it, this item sitting in Michigan, Matthew, and the current bidder at the time when we're doing this podcast is from Kentucky. Now, I also want to mention, too, that people are noticing something new on our website. The extension periods are being adjusted. And, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that, Matthew?
Yeah, I think on, a traditional auction, sometimes as it gets toward the end, everybody waiting 5 minutes or, depending on how vigorous the bidding is, the extension period changes. And I think that's a great feature for people that are buying, so that are able to get their bid in, but then they're not waiting forever and ever and ever and ever. So, but 5 minutes is a good period of time to really consider, look at the equipment again, make a phone call, ask some questions, and decide where you want to be on that piece of machinery.
Well, we've sure had a lot of calls from people requesting that we shorten the time on a lot of the items that have been selling on Big Iron. When you sell to welder or torch, or you're selling a box blade or something like that, to have 5 minutes extensions kind of drags it on, in some people's opinion, a little too long. And they totally understand having 5 minutes to make a decision to bid on a big four-wheel drive tractor or a big chopper or combine or a semi-truck is important, because they can continue to do some additional research as they're bidding on those items. But some items, folks, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you'll be noticing that we have 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 5 minutes now, different extension periods on different types of categories of equipment. So, send us your feedback. Tell us what you think about all that stuff. We encourage people to share their thoughts and their ideas and their experiences here. Now, we've got another item selling in Illinois. This time we've got a disc from David Marr. Go ahead, Matthew, tell us about this seller and talk about the rep, too, that's listing this equipment, which is J.D. Smith.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about J.D. Smith. He's been out there working hard for his farmers. And, in this case, he came across from David Marr this white 24-foot disc. And it's got great folding, and it's a 14-foot transport width, so allows the farmer to get down the road the best they can. And obviously, with safety being a concern today, making sure everything works correctly, and they got a nice piece of tool. So if you're in the market for a disc, let's take a look at this, and I think you'll be pleased with all the equipment we get from Illinois. A lot of times it's nicer equipment, been well kept, may not have always been stored in the shed in every case, but still well taken care of, and looks a good piece of equipment.
And one of the reasons why not only the people in Indiana and Illinois and Ohio and Michigan and Kentucky like using Big Iron is the fact, if they just have one item and something like a disc, it's not really that much fun to pull that 40 or 50 or 60 miles to a consignment yard. And with Big Iron, they can leave it right at their location, and they can represent that equipment as well. Are you finding that traction is picking up a lot in those areas because of those benefits, Matthew?
Yeah, I think that's a key as we expand the independent sales reps throughout Illinois. I think that makes a huge difference in the awareness that local buyers have. And so we're seeing more action from local buyers. So items like the disc and other items that are harder to travel down the road, they're able to purchase them in a more local way. And that really brings a lot of benefits to people that are going to sell. And so I think they're going to be happy with the expansion of Illinois, especially all throughout, whether you're talking about Northern Illinois, Central Illinois, or Southern Illinois. I think the expansion is making a huge impact.
And an interesting statistic that I think a lot of the listeners will find interesting is the average piece of machinery is going over 250 miles when it sells on Big Iron, which is why we have partnered with Hitchpin Logistics, because they've got a team of people in their office that will be able to quote what it's going to cost that particular bidder and buyer to freight those items prior to them being the high bidder, so they can build that cost into their equation. So folks, machinery, it does stay local, but it also travels quite a distance. When you list it on BigIron.com, and with the convenience of Hitchpin Logistics, it sure is an added comfort to those bidders and buyers knowing that they don't have to stress over the thought of getting that item hauled right to their location.
There's a lot of construction equipment on the October 21st auction mark. What catches your eye here?
You know, there is. Sun State Equipment, they have a rental store in a lot of states, in a lot of counties, in a lot of cities, and they have asked BigIron to sell their late model rental equipment because they're getting brand new stuff in to replace it. And that's part of a rental store. They got to keep their inventory of items fresh. So we're selling loader backhoes, we're selling really nice aerial lifts, we're selling trenchers, we're selling all that type of equipment that people use in the construction business on BigIron.com. And the equipment from Sun State is coming right off the rental road. So it's been serviced and it's ready to go. So you're buying good quality equipment. We also have the Crazy Woman Construction sale in Buffalo, Wyoming. Now that should just attract enough attention right there. But John Hepp is representing an International ProStar semi-truck that's selling. They got a Freightliner dump truck. They got a Caterpillar 446B loader backhoe. It's an extend-a-hoe, folks. They got a Ditch Witch mini excavator that's going to sell. It's the MX352 model. They've got a Ford Jubilee utility tractor with a Woods Dixie cutter that's selling. That's a 1953 model, the Ford Jubilee. That means that's the 50th year they made that tractor. They've got a Ford 8N. They've got a Husqvarna riding lawnmower with a bagger. They got a Caterpillar skid steer, dozer attachment. So check those items out. Selling for the Crazy Woman Construction LLC out of Buffalo, Wyoming. Now I also want to make a reference here to a couple other big sales that we're going to have in the ag side. Galen and Shirley Backus, they are retiring from Wentworth, South Dakota. And wow, do they have a number of items. It's over 500 lots that Dale Scott has put together. They have worked on this sale since March, getting ready and putting all this equipment together, which is what it takes, folks, to have a successful retirement sale. It takes time, and our reps will come out and help through that entire process. But Dale's been working with Galen and Shirley for a long period of time. They've got a Case IH 7240 mechanical front tractor. They got a Case IH 9180 four-wheel drive tractor. They got a 1086. They got a 2166 combine. But a lot of their items are the stuff that was in their shop and the items that they used in their business. They had a popcorn processing plant, so they had a lot of extras with those items as well, selling out of Wentworth, South Dakota. We've also got Joe and Kathy Hudson's retirement sale. They're from Weeping Water, Nebraska, and their equipment on their sale features a John Deere 6715 mechanical front tractor with a loader. They've got a John Deere 2280 self-propelled sprayer. They've got a Sundowner Sunlight Pro stock gooseneck aluminum livestock trailer that's selling. They've got a really nice John Deere MX10 rotary crudder or rotary shredder. They've got the Haybuster 2650 series bale processor that's going to sell. They've got several other items as well selling from Weeping Water, Nebraska. DeRoy Sellers is Craig, Colorado, folks, and that is an estate sale that features a Club Cadet 42-inch zero-turn riding mower. They've got several items used in the lawn and garden area. So, folks, if you need some of those items from Craig, Colorado, check out that estate auction. And Jeffrey Sternad Estate is in Scandia, Kansas. Now, this, I'm glad we're going to talk about this because Jeffrey was an avid military collector buff. And he's got a U.S. Armory armed infantry vehicle. And watch the videos. Check out his Humvees. He's got several AM General Humvees that he's selling. He's got a U.S. Army 6x6 truck. It's just some unique stuff that Jeffrey Sternad has put together in Scandia, Kansas. The little tank is just cuter than all get out, going back and forth. So if you want something that's a conversation piece parked on your farm or in your shed or in your building out in the country, check out those items selling this upcoming October the 21st on the BigIron website.
We've got a couple of utility companies on the auction this week. Mark, what type of equipment can folks find here? You know, we have done work for public power districts here in Nebraska for almost 30 years. In Nebraska Public Power District, their slogan is always there when you need us. And they have some brand new trucks that they get all the time, and then they ask us to sell the replacement trucks.
and everything they have has got unbelievable service records on them, folks. So if you need a Ford F-350 Super Duty diesel crew cab pickup, four-wheel drive with a flatbed, we've got a 2015 model that's going to sell for NPPD. They've got Dodge, they've got Chevrolets, they've got a whole fleet of heavy-duty Freightliner trucks as well, and Sterling trucks. So check out their good quality equipment selling this upcoming week on Big Iron. And Lincoln Electric System in Lincoln, Nebraska, they have got some of the cleanest, most well cared for utility equipment that we sell throughout the year. And they've got an unbelievable service department. Kent Colbert is a meticulous fleet manager, and he's got a Freightliner aerial bucket truck. In fact, he's got a couple of those. He's got a Sterling aerial basket bucket truck. He's got a Chevrolet Silverado 4x4 extended cab pickup that's selling. You won't find it any nicer than when it sells for Lincoln Electric System and Nebraska Public Power District. If you need some good, old, dependable work trucks and vehicles and aerial devices, digger derricks, cherry pickers, some people call them, that's what we'll be selling for those two entities.
We've mentioned a few already, but I can't help but notice the number of really nice tractors for sale this week on Big Iron. Tell us about a few of these here.
The tractors we really want to highlight for Holderly Farms. I mean, this 2013 John Deere 8285R MFWD tractor. You know, one of the things that stands out, you know, as a 285 horsepower, 2,380 hours on it, and they even went through the extra effort of having the leather added to this tractor. So, you know, it's loaded with just about everything. It's even got HID lighting package, guidance ready. And so they've really went through everything, got the buddy seat, all the things you need to have a quality tractor. And I think it's going to do really well. And those of you looking for around those kind of years, that's going to be a great option for you. Another tractor, it's another 2013 John Deere. This one's a 9560R four-wheel drive tractor, duals in the front and the back. Same thing, they go ahead and they add the leather interior in the cab. They got the buddy seat. It's got a Starfire ITC receiver, guidance ready, everything there that you need to make it go. The 5 auxiliary hydraulics, and I think it's really going to be a tractor that's going to attract a lot of attention. If you look at the pictures on this, I mean, you could eat off the floor, well taken care of. And like I say, what impressed me about going to the farm is that their storage for their equipment is not gravel, it's actually concrete. So when it goes in there, it's in great shape, and they went the extra mile to concrete their barns. That means that they really care a lot about their equipment, and these are two pieces that I think you're going to want to take a look at.
Yeah, and in addition to those items, folks, AGCO Finance uses Big Iron all the time, and they've got a 2014 Massey Ferguson 7619 mechanical front tractor with a loader. You need to check that out. In Elk Mountain, Wyoming, Johnson's A-Bar 1 Ranch, they've got a John Deere 7320 mechanical front tractor with a loader. I know we're coming into fall, and a lot of people are going to be feeding the livestock those tractors and loaders with mechanical fronts. Once you've had one, you wondered why you survived or how you could have survived without one. We've got Michael Kelly in Ainsworth, Nebraska, selling their Magnum 235 mechanical front tractor. It's a 2011 model. It's got about 3,200 hours showing on that tach, so check out that good quality tractor. And we've already mentioned Joe and Kathy Hudson's retirement sale in Weeping Water, but they've got a 6715 mechanical front tractor with a loader that you need to take a look at because it's really well cared for. We do also have some additional items that will be selling October the 21st. CHS out of Dixon, Nebraska, they've got an AgChem row gator. It's a dry spreader, folks, machine that's going to sell. We got Jacob Brothers in Bruno, Nebraska. They've got a John Deere 4x4 loader backhoe that's going to be sold. It's a 2007 model. Check that out. Hilltop Grain in Polo, Missouri. They've got a 2013 John Deere Flex Draper platform head with an air reel on it, so check that machine out. So if you're still finishing up some of your harvest and you need some of those heads, we can accommodate that as well. Also, I want to mention Cindy McLawhorn. They are from Sims, North Carolina. They've got a Massey Ferguson 7619 mechanical front tractor as well. This machine here has 1,807 hours on it, so if you need a nice tractor with an air conditioner or a heater, depending on which part of the country you're living in, check it all out. And we do have some really nice semi-trucks that are selling. Chief Carriers, they've got some International Pro Stars, they're 2015 models. They're going to have about 440 and 615,000 miles on a set of Pro Star trucks. We also have Daggert Truck Line out of Frazee, Minnesota. They've got some International Pro Stars as well, 2013 and 2012 models. Those are all being sold here on BigIron.com. And folks, if you're looking for a Chevrolet K1500 custom four-wheel drive pickup, check out the one that's been customized for Garrett Hinkst out of Allen, Nebraska. He just kind of dolled up a fancy pickup. Go to the website and check it all out. It sells on BigIron.com, where everything is represented by the owners. There's never a buyer's fee. It's all lien-free, and everything sells with no reserves.
That's our show for today, folks. I'd like to thank our guests, Mark Stock and Matthew Swartz, and remind everyone that the equipment mentioned today can all be found on the October 21st auction on BigIron.com. For the Big Iron Buzz, I'm Ryan Smith. We'll catch you here next week.